At the very start of the movie, we're greeted by New York. Its New Year's atmosphere mesmerizing from the first frames. Robin Monroe is a young beauty, an assistant editor at a trendy magazine. A courier brings her flowers at work with an invitation to a restaurant from Frank, her boyfriend. That same evening, the couple meets at a Polynesian restaurant, where Frank shows her a brochure advertising a tropical island and suggests they go there together for 6 whole days and 7 nights. If only they could have known in advance how this romantic trip would turn out, and what kind of days and nights those would be. In a shabby airport of the tropical archipelago, Robin tries to find a charter flight to get to the island of Makoti. She meets Quinn Harris, a seasoned pilot, who offers to fly on his small plane, which doesn't inspire Robin's confidence. To make things worse, the rickety aircraft clearly needs repairs. But the girl hesitates because she expected a real big plane, not this wreck. The pilot assures her the craft is fine and that they won't find a better option now. In the end, the couple reluctantly agrees. Before takeoff, they're joined by an attractive woman named Angelica, who turns out to be the co-pilot. She sits next to Quinn and kisses him passionately. Soon, the group safely makes it to the island. In the evening, they stroll around the hotel and recall how they first met 3 years ago. Suddenly, Frank pulls out an engagement ring and proposes. Robin kisses him in agreement. Frank leaves briefly, and in his absence, a tipsy Quinn approaches Robin and openly flirts with her. Finally, Frank returns, and Robin breathes a sigh of relief. The next day, the couple spends on the beach, sunbathing and sipping cocktails. This idyll is ruined by a sudden phone call. Her boss begs Robin to fly to Tahiti. It's so close, and handle a very important meeting with their clients. Robin has no choice but to agree. The only one who can take her to Tahiti is Quinn, but he's not eager to do it. The girl persuades him for a fairly large sum. The main problem remains Frank, who has to be convinced that the trip to Tahiti is absolutely necessary. The man is, of course, very hurt, but has no choice, and Robin flies away. During the flight, she and Quinn talk about themselves. Meanwhile, the weather starts to get worse fast. It looks like they're about to fly into a real storm. Meanwhile, Frank is dining alone. His solitude is broken by the beautiful Angelica, who takes over his attention. And up in the sky above the islands, the weather gets even worse, and the plane is tossed around. The pilot decides to return to Makoti, and at this time, Frank is already fully enjoying Angelica's company. Robin takes a whole bunch of anxiety pills and stops realizing what's going on. Quinn also asks for a couple to calm himself down. Suddenly, lightning strikes the plane. They lose altitude. The pilot spots some island and heads the aircraft toward it. The crash landing ends successfully. Robin wakes up only in the morning. She is shocked by what happened and frantically looks for ways to fix the situation. Quinn replies with sarcasm, but despair hides in his eyes. The energetic girl doesn't give up. She tries to catch a signal, but fails. The pilot shows her a flare gun with a single shot and warns that they'll have to be stuck here for a long time. Robin doesn't seem to understand the seriousness of the situation and demands her money back for the flight. Quinn demonstratively rips the bills, trying to show the fool what they're worth here. Furious, Robin runs to the plane and finds a rubber raft. Quinn hates the idea because they don't even know where to sail. A heated quarrel breaks out. The pilot says Robin isn't his type, that she talks too much, and her figure isn't great either. The girl fires back, saying he's a drunk, and it's his fault they're stranded here. But like it or not, they'll have to adjust to each other to survive. Meanwhile, Frank gets a call from Robin's editor, and finally it becomes clear that she never made it to Tahiti. Panic spreads, and Angelica joins in. Meanwhile, on the nameless island, the unlucky pair sets out to find water. Hostility grows between them, with constant insults thrown at each other. Angelica and Frank go with the rescuers to search for their partners. The man despairs. Nothing went as planned. And why on earth did Robin fly to cursed Tahiti? Struggling through the jungle, Robin and Quinn find a waterfall. The tropical flora and fauna terrify the city girl. She is scared to death by a harmless wild boar and bolts into the water, where a water snake slips into her underwear. Robin tries not to panic, but the situation is so tense that she barely manages. Luckily, Quinn saves the day. quickly pulling the wriggling creature out of the lady's panties. The man can hardly hold back his laughter. Robin is furious, glaring at him, but still grateful to Quinn for saving her. After a few days, the castaways adapt to the circumstances. Quinn hunts exotic game, providing them with food. They get to know each other better and better. Early in the morning, Robin wakes up to the sound of a plane. She tries to shake Quinn awake to fire the flare, and when that doesn't work, she fires it herself. The clumsy shot hits a palm tree, and they lose their last chance of rescue. Quinn explodes in anger because it was a jetliner that wouldn't notice even a nuclear blast from that height. Meanwhile, the rescue team keeps searching for the missing, and Robin and Quinn don't stop trying to save themselves. According to the map, there should be a lighthouse and a radio station here. If they climb up and break the equipment, they'll have a chance of rescue. But when they get there, Quinn realizes that's not true. There's no lighthouse at all. He is almost in despair, but Robin suddenly encourages him, which helps the man a lot. Suddenly, they notice a boat far off, on the opposite side of the island. Without wasting a second, they run there. On the way, Quinn even manages to tell Robin about his sad love story, after which things with women became much simpler. Suddenly, the man sees through binoculars that on that ship are real pirates. The couple immediately changes course and runs as fast as they can. But luck isn't with them, because the bandits notice them and send a chase after the fugitives. The pair dodges bullets and run deeper into the island, but in the end, they are still caught. Robin shows remarkable wit and convincingly lies that they have gold. Allegedly, they are a married couple, and she is a jeweler. Quinn plays along with the girl. This story instantly interests the bandits. They spare them and lead them to the boat where the gold is supposedly hidden. The pirates watch the captives carefully, but luckily, the pair manages to escape again. But their frantic run through the jungle brings them to a high, rocky cliff. There is no other way, and Quinn pushes the girl into the sea and jumps after her. The pirates, convinced the fugitives are dead, leave. Exhausted, Robin and Quinn make it to shore and let off steam, throwing themselves into each other's passionate arms. But afterwards, both feel awkward and pretend nothing special happened. Soon they find in the jungle a Japanese plane from World War II. They set up camp nearby to try fixing it. At night, Robin looks at unfamiliar constellations and reflects on where this little romantic trip has actually brought her. Frank still believes Robin is alive, although his search partner already seems to have accepted Quinn's death. She even offers Frank to stay with her for the night, actively flirting, but Frank doesn't fall for it and refuses the beauty. Quinn, meanwhile, doesn't waste time and tries once more to get closer to Robin, but the girl resists, even though there's clearly a spark between them. She has to stay loyal to Frank, which can't be said about him since he gave in to Angelica's charms. In the morning, they wake up in one bed, though Frank remembers little. The man scolds himself and suffers terribly for his betrayal, and Robin finally starts looking at Quinn differently. She finds him very attractive as a man. They grow closer, talking for hours about everything. Quinn admits he was married for 12 years, but his wife left him for his best friend. Robin sympathizes with him, still trying to cheer him up. The experienced pilot and mechanic, Quinn keeps gathering parts from the old plane to fix his own, or at least build something that looks like one. Frank, meanwhile, can't accept the fact of his infidelity. He torments himself for his unfaithfulness, replaying the situation in his head over and over. But Angelica, careless by nature, calms him down. One of the rescuers arrives and reports that the search for the missing is being called off, and they must accept their deaths. Quinn and Robin, of course, don't agree with such a plan. They work tirelessly to put together a flying machine as soon as possible, and finally, the plane is ready for flight. But trouble doesn't leave them. Suddenly, the pirates return, firing cannons at the island. One cannonball hits Quinn directly. Robin rushes to help him and tries to drag the wounded man into the plane. They start the propeller and taxi onto the water. Shots keep coming, but the plane still lifts off at the last moment. A cannon fires into the sky and the shell falls right onto the pirate ship. On Makoti, they hold a sad yet very beautiful farewell ritual for the dead. The morning ceremony is interrupted by Quinn's plane, piloted by the terrified Robin. The girl manages to land on the water. From the plane, the crowd pulls out. The survivors return from the other side, led by Angelica and Frank. Instead of a funeral procession, they immediately throw a joyful celebration. This carefree attitude is natural for such light-hearted people. A few days later, Robin visits Quinn in the infirmary and tries to figure out what is really happening between them. But Quinn disappoints her, saying their lives are too different to be together. But Robin can't lie to herself anymore, and she asks Frank to cancel the wedding. He is sure she found out about his betrayal and shocks her by confessing it. In the end, they both realize they never really loved each other. Quinn, left alone, also realizes his feelings and rushes to the airfield to catch Robin. But the plane to New York has already left. Suddenly, he sees Robin off to the side, arguing with airport workers, insisting she needs to go back. Quinn smiles broadly, confessing his feelings to her. Robin throws herself into his arms. Of course, there are still sarcastic jabs between them, but at last the lovers happily reunite. It doesn't matter that they are so different, because the most important thing is that it's true love. And at that moment, the film ends. Thank you all for watching this video until the very end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this film. And see you in the next videos.